Stop talking.
At the bar later on.
At the bar later on. You won't be able to get away from him.
No.
He'll be full of words.
He'll be telling you all about the grip there. So here we are. We move on to a big one for the Finnish fans. It is Lauri Heinonen going up. This is the big battle of the top 16. Two guys finishing in the top 6 of the championship last year. The highest ranked drivers left in the competition. It is McKeever versus Lauri Heinonen. Finland versus Ireland. Two guys you expect to see in the semi-final or the final are battling it out in the strange event in the top 16.
And the last Irishman and the last Finnish driver left in competition. So this means a lot. There's a lot of Irish fans here this weekend, and there's a lot of Finnish fans.
And both of those finishing 1 and 2 in the Nations Cup last year.
Oh, man.
Oh, here's a big one. You can see the Irish fans and the Finnish fans are waiting what's going to happen next. Lauri fires it in. McKeever, contact on the entry. McKeever had to back out of it.
Yeah, he did have to back out of it, Dave. He had to think about this, and that could have opened the door a little bit for Lauri Heinonen. He's lightened that car. He's put more grip in it, and now you start to see it unfold as he fires down the circuit. You can see McKeever hasn't really got an answer at the moment. He's going to have to make a dive into this final outside zone, and look at the pace from Lauri Heinonen. He didn't even lift off the throttle into that outside zone, and he drives away from McKeever.
There's no catching him. There was no catching him. Once McKeever had to back out for a millisecond on entry, Lauri was gone.
Man,
absolutely
how
gone.
fast is that car of Lauri Heinenen's? Well, if it had wings, it would fly him home.
If you're outpacing Dmec McKeever,
that's a fast car.
That's fast. There's very few do. Now watch the initiation. I just spotted it briefly. Dmec knew Lauri was fast. He knew he had to go with him. But watch Dmec here as he come up the straight. He had to back off on initiation. He had to go on the inside of the track.
Yeah, look at this. He goes for it, Dave. Watch it, and he goes, I'm going to hit the cones on the inside, so I'm going to back out ever so slightly. As soon as he lifts the foot off the throttle for a millisecond, Lauri Heinenen's like, see you, buddy, I'm off.
Lauri's car is a rocket ship.
I mean, that's what happens when you start removing weight out of the car. Look at that left foot brake, and he's still keeping some distance between himself and McKeever. And then here, on these transitions, he was just flawless. Look, it didn't even, look, that smoke trail continues the whole way. That man is committed.
Yeah, nobody has been that quick on throttle.
And fluid.
And there.
Online.
Yeah. That's something else. We've not seen that today. That's something different. Maybe Lauri Heinonen has just stepped it up a notch this year, and what I love about this is he's been starting practice and not a mark on the car, no issues. He's in there doing the same run every single time, and Dmec McKeever probably at a disadvantage in the lead position now, which is the hardest part.
Yeah. Because
you can do very little, and Lauri Heinonen is looking across saying, "You used to be the fastest man around these tracks."
Used to be.
Yeah. I'm going to show you fast. And that's what Lauri Heinonen is. Lauri Heinonen even angling the car towards McKeever behind. He is ready for this. And I think it's a big statement if you take down Dmec McKeever at the top 16 level. Everyone's going to be terrified of you. McKeever has got to pull something out of the bag. Very hard to do it from the lead position.
It certainly is. He's going to go for a wild initiation. He fires that car across the circuit, big angle. But look at Heinonen onto the door straight away, and he doesn't even get affected by the back out from McKeever. McKeever lifts off the throttle, and Lauri Heinonen stays with him. Oh, big transition through the smoke from Lauri Heinonen. This is insane. Heinonen makes a big mistake there, though. Mistimes the transition, but he's on him. He hits him. Oh, and there's contact between the two drivers, and that upsets Heinonen as he gets back into it again.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Just when you thought I said there was no marks on Lauri Heinenen's car, he hit him twice. I think Dmec McKeever's getting back in this a little bit because there was some big men out. There was some errors from McKeever in the lead too. Well, what happened on that last corner to Lauri Heinonen? Did he make contact and have to straighten up? I'm going to be honest, this one's now in the balance for me. I think Lauri went too aggressive.
Man, that chase.
Oh, it was unbelievable. Watch this again. Heinonen all over McKeever on the initiation. Waits for McKeever to make the move. Bam! Dives up onto the door. A little left foot braking. He's on the door. A little touch of Dmec McKeever's car here as McKeever way wide of that inside zone. So that could be a contributing factor, and way shallow on that inside zone. So McKeever not on the perfect lead run at that point. So McKeever bleeding points all the time here. However, what happens in the transition at the end? That's the bit that we're going to have to look at. The dive from Heinonen is insane at that speed. As they transition back, Lauri makes a mistake, and as he transitions back here, touches the door and has to kind of straighten up. I think he's taking the steering wheel out of his hand. That's what's happened there. He's had to dive back in. And what happens here? Hits him, stays in it. Big straighten from Lauri Heinonen and gets back on it again. That's the steering wheel coming out of your hand. That's what that is. I think he's lost control there. Oh, the judges have a tough job here. McKeever misses so many zones. There's 3 zones McKeever misses, but then Heinonen makes a massive, massive mistake here, hitting him too hard.
But McKeever's not really on throttle there as he gets into the outside zone.
You think McKeever's gone in too hot?
I think McKeever was not fully committed as he went into that outside zone. I could be wrong. I'm not a judge, Dave. I'm looking at this like everybody else is who's sat at home watching it right now on the edge of their seat.
We are there on the edge of the seat with you guys. We're just calling it as we see it. We're not biased towards anyone. We just want to see the best man win. And right now, I would say not great from McKeever on both runs, but a big error from Heinonen, so it could go either way.
Heinonen looks a little dejected here.
Both drivers here now will not know what's happening, and we don't know what's happening. So from my perspective right now, this one's in the balance. Our technical director, Matchapaldi, picking up a bit of Dwayne McKeever's car there. To me, judges are going to have a good look at this in a couple of angles. You've got numerous contact positions from Laurie Heinonen. You're going to reward his aggression. You're going to reward the proximity. McKeever misses that inside zone. Does he miss it because he was hit out? Does he miss it because he's on the wrong line? Does Laurie hit him because he's on the wrong line? Man, there is a lot of all the spirographs in my mind are going off about how this. This guy from Finland, though, definitely believes Laurie Heinen's won it. And you can see the Irish fans think Dwayne McKeever's won it. And both of these guys are not going to know. And I don't know. As many times I'll be quietly confident, this time I'm not sure. That straight from Laurie Heinonen at the end, that's a big error. Should have transitioned.
But then you've got to look at it on the technical form as if they deemed watch this, McKeever's rear wheels, look, hardly any smoke, no smoke. Then there's smoke.
So you think he's transitioned too late?
Look at the angle he's at.
Yeah, he's transitioned very late. Heinonen hits him, and it's going to be a question of did he decel?
Transition so late into that zone.
Is it a decel zone though?
There is a decel there.
Yeah, so should Laurie have been able to adapt to that? That's the question. We don't know. I've flip-flopped my ideas here 15 times.
But then there's this mistake here.
Heinonen hits him, that is a mistake. And then McKeever fires back and Heinonen hits him, and then the straighten is because of the hit, so they're going to have to determine why there was a hit. Was Heinonen too fast? Was McKeever too... But then again, there is smoke coming from McKeever's car.
No, it's not nowhere near what we've seen from Heinonen in his lead.
No, true. And McKeever also misses that outer zone.
Yeah, which is why there would be contact, because he's pushing Laurie Heinonen to the inside of the circuit.
Also,
he's pinching him.
McKeever's going faster because he's not going to the edge of the track.
Of course.
So that's why maybe he came up on that corner a little quicker than he normally would have. I don't think McKeever looks confident here. I think he's going to know those.
And now Heinonen has a little grin on his face.
Oh, look at that. I think he's also listening to the many chants from the Finnish fans around the place too. Very hard to know. This is going to be very tough.
Do you know, I'm going to throw it out there as just a fan, a spectator. I'm going to say that this is going to go down to McKeever's lead not being as clean as Heinenen's, and that is why there was contact.
I'm inclined to agree completely that that is the case. The question is, could Heinonen have done more to avoid it?
Oh, man, at those speeds, pushing 110%. You think if he would have gave McKeever any room, McKeever would have drove away from him, and then he would have lost the battle from not pushing.
Yeah, good
This is a game of two halves. You either commit or you don't commit.
I would say after the first run, Heinonen definitely the advantage. Lead run far cleaner than Dwayne's chase. Dwayne had to back out of the initiation, made a little bit of a mess of that. Second run, it's going to come down to that straighten for Laurie Heinonen. Did he straighten because McKeever pushed him into the wrong place in the track? I could see the argument for that. Did he do it just because he made a mistake and was too aggressive? I could see an argument for that. Doesn't matter what you argue at home, doesn't matter what we argue here. No. The judges have got to make a decision, and they are still discussing this one.
Yeah, look, we're drift fans through and through, Dave, like everybody else that watches this week in and week out. And do you know what? These decisions for me are interesting. It puts the judges in such a difficult position.
I'm going to be honest when I say this, that it's such a tight decision, this. And it has to come down to, it can't be a one more time because there's contact and straightening and stuff. It's got to be, fault has to be, designated to somebody.
Yeah.
If you genuinely think that you could call this now and then you're going to have an argument about the result afterwards, you are lying to yourself. Because this is like a court case that could go on for weeks.
Yeah.
And they don't have weeks. The judges have to make a call on what they think is the right call. But for me right now, there's no way someone could confidently say Dwayne or Laurie are winning this battle 100% unless you're biased, because that is very close. There's mistakes from both drivers, clear as day, and we're going to have to find a winner. Because there's contact and a straightening, it means someone's at fault. Here we go. Results are dropping in. And it's Laurie Heinonen getting the win. Laurie Heinonen gets the win and goes through to the top 8. David, we were talking, that's a really tough one. I mean, I know you guys were under pressure with that, but you could see arguments for both sides there.
Yeah, it was very tough one to decide. Unfortunately, we are not able to say, okay, we blame both drivers for what happened, and we just need to choose somebody to say who was to blame. This can be, I believe, said both ways. But it really depends how you are watching it from inner zone 4 to outer zone 5 and then inner zone 6 and outer zone 7. It is so much connected on this track. So we believe that it all started at inner zone 4, when then afterwards the transition was pretty wide from Dwayne. Then he's pulling the handbrake after the transition, which we did not want it to see. That's pulling him in, and there we can see the first contact. After the first contact, both cars are unsettled, the line is already damaged, and then it goes with both drivers till outer zone 7, where we're having another hit, another straightening. So that was how to deal with it at outer zone 5. So me and Vernon thought that, okay, Dwayne should not touch the handbrake at that position, and he should be deeper in outer zone 5. So Laurie was doing his best to follow him there, and he was not expecting those two things happening. So we blamed Dwayne for that. When Kevin thinks that Laurie should be able to adjust to this mistake from Dwayne, and he's blaming Laurie for that.
You know, I love to hear this discussion. I love to hear the fact that we've got a very confused judging panel, but we have a decision. Becky, you're down with Laurie Heinonen. He might not have known that was going to go his way. That was a close one.
That was a close one, Dave. I'm here with Laurie. Congratulations, you're through to the Great 8. You are flying out there, but as we were watching you chase Dwayne, I'm listening to you listen to the judges. Do you agree with what they're saying?
I think it's a tough call. I don't know what to say really, because it's great that they reward aggressive driving, I think, but I could have been a little more less aggressive. But there's something in Dwayne that makes me do that.
Excellent, Laurie. Congratulations.
There's something in Dwayne that makes me aggressive.
He's like a red flag to a ball.
I think that's what Dwayne's mum says as well. She's always giving out to him for making too much noise. Dwayne has that effect. Look, I'll be honest, I can understand we have a split in the judges of their opinion. And I can see it. You can say, I mean, you're talking about human error here, so you're saying who's at fault.